I have done quite a bit of Croesus over the past 2 weeks for you guys. So we did 10 hours of 4-mans, and then we also did 10 hours of public instances for this kill. And this video will be covering the differences between the two, both in experience as well as rewards. And we'll also be taking a look at which you should be doing in order to maximize your gains on your account. So if you haven't watched the 4-man video, I won't be covering it at all in this video. I will simply be referencing it at the end of the video. So if you haven't seen it, click the link above. But let's dive right into all of the experience that I had during my 10 hours of public instances. So I'm just going to say this flat out. Public instances are chaos. They're a fun chaos, but they are chaos. You're never guaranteed to ever get a kill. As we've progressed throughout the time, people have gotten a lot better about confirming kills, but there are still definitely mess ups. So in order to stay consistent between public as well as 4-man instances, I did my best to obtain as many points as possible through the strategies known. This included harvesting, depositing, building, as well as clicking on the core when it was white and green, and of course getting the energy fungus in the middle. Now, one thing that I can say is that doing public instances is actually, in my personal opinion, a lot more stressful and a lot more intensive than doing 4-man kills, simply for the fact that you are racing other people to deposit those materials and get your points. In order to get the maximum points, to try and maximize the amount of GP per hour and points per hour for this, I did unfortunately have to race a lot of other players to contributing materials to those statues, which unfortunately kind of made these 10 hours not as fun as I had hoped. But the hope was to make the data as consistent as possible between the two different sets. On average, each kill we were getting about 225 points, with some kills being a little bit more AFK and being down in 180s, whereas some kills were a lot more intensive and trying to get the most amount of points, which was up to 250. Comparing this to the average of 4-man kills, which is about 450 points, we do see a slight decrease in points, but this is not the main factor when we're looking at the kills, but rather I want to specifically examine the kill time in order to get these points. So since I've posted the 10 hours of 4-mans, the kill time has improved significantly, going from an average of about 7:30 down to 6:30. When you compare this to the average kill time of a public lobby, which is 4:30, you would hope to see about 75% of the points that you would get from a 4-man. Since Croesus is based off of points rather than kill time, I would say that from this standpoint, it is significantly better to be doing 4-mans, as you will get more loot rolls per hour, which in turn gives more GP per hour. Speaking of money, we did earn a significant amount more doing the 4-man groups at 192 mil in the 10 hours, equating to about 19.2 million per hour, whereas with the public instances, we only saw 89 million per hour or 8.9 million per hour. Not scoffing at the substantial 8.9 million per hour, but when comparing the two, there is a clear winner. This is also not just due to the amount of contribution points gained. There were also some failed kills in the public lobbies, as well as some kills that were griefed by players, ultimately resulting in a failure or longer kill times. Before I go any further, I would just like to say that I think public instances are a great way for both new players to learn the boss, as well as for lower level players to get kills and get those rewards who might not be able to keep up in a 4-man group. Loot aside, I think doing 4-man groups is both better for experience for the player as well as for the skills. Doing 4-mans, as long as you're dodging mechanics, can be a very relaxing experience, gathering the materials required. However, with public instances, you have multiple people that are getting hit with multiple abilities and can be very stressful, as you are getting potentially hit by multiple slimes, multiple clouds, or you have to worry about other people's fairy rings, which might teleport you across the arena. In terms of skill experience, the core node does give a significant amount of experience compared to the rest of the nodes, but I also did notice a drop in my XP per hour when I was doing public instances rather than doing 4-man groups. However, the definite winner between the two is 4-man groups. I think the primary reason that people are still doing public instances is that they don't have a solid way of finding 4-man teams to try it out for themselves. A great resource that you can use is the Croesus FC. I personally have had wonderful experiences with teams from this FC, and I would highly recommend it. But that's all I have for you guys today. Remember to give it a thumbs up if you liked it, sub if you loved it, and until next time, I hope you guys have a wonderful week.